you are invited to sit back, relax, or take a bike ride, or just watch the visuals as I ride through Antigua and give you some fantastic life advice. Here we go. Your mind is your greatest asset, but for the most people, it's also their greatest enemy. It keeps them trapped in self doubt, overwhelmed by emotions, and paralyzed by fear. Instead of working for them, it works against them, creating problems that do not exist, amplifying pain that could be ignored, and worrying about things beyond their control. But what if you could take back control? What if you could train your mind to work for you rather than against you? Imagine the power of facing challenges with unshakable calm. Imagine having the ability to silence anxiety, to let go of what you cannot change, and to remain rational no matter what happens. This is not a fantasy. It is a skill that can be developed. The ancient Stoics mastered this ability, and their teachings continue to work these days. In this video, I'm going to go through life-changing Stoic lessons that will help you master your mind. These lessons are not just theories. They are practical, actionable steps that, if amplified, will transform how you experience life. By the end of this video, you will have a clear roadmap of mental mastery, but watch till the end because you got to learn. We got to live. This is not just another motivational talk, as I've done for years. It's a blueprint for reclaiming your power. So stay with me. Absorb each principle and, most importantly, apply them. And if you find value in this content, don't forget to follow the Be Fantastic community and be part of this great mission of ours. Now let's begin. Lesson 1, focus on what you can control. Your mind is constantly trying to control the uncontrollable. It obsesses over the opinions of others, fears failure before it even happens, and dwells on regrets that cannot be undone. This is the primary cause of stress, attempting to control things that are inherently beyond your reach. Imagine standing outside on a stormy day, shouting at the sky, demanding the rain to stop. How silly. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? But that's exactly what we do when we dwell on things outside our control. The Stoics recognized this futility, and instead of focusing on powerful, you don't control the world. You only control yourself. Epictetus, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, put it simply: happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. This is the foundation of mastering your mind, understanding where to direct your energy. Consider a common source of frustration: relationships. You cannot control how others treat you, but you can control how you react. If someone insults you, the Stoic approach is not to get angry or defensive, but to recognize that their words hold no real power unless you give them power. You decide whether or not to take offense. Another example, failure. Let's say you prepared for a month for a major project at work, but it didn't go as planned. You feel crushed, but pause and ask yourself, what is this situation in my control? You cannot change the past, but you can learn from it. You can't control how others judge your performance, but you can refine your skills and try again. When you focus on what you can control, your response, your effort, your perspective, you reclaim your power. Mastering this principle requires practice. Throughout your day, remind yourself, is there something I control? If the answer is no, release it. If the answer is yes, take action. When you shift your mind, your focus on what you can do, anxiety diminishes, confidence grows, and life becomes lighter. This is the first step in mastering your mind. And once you embrace it, you'll never look at life the same again. Lesson 2, do not let emotions control you. Your emotions are powerful forces that can either serve you or destroy you when left unchecked. They lead to impulsive decisions, unnecessary conflicts, and regret. Most people allow their emotions to dictate their actions, reacting out of anger, fear, or frustration without pausing to think. But Stoics teaches us that true strength lies in emotional control. Mastering your emotions does not mean suppressing them, but rather understanding them, observing them, and ensuring that they do not control your responses. Imagine you are criticized at work or by a friend. Your initial reaction might be to feel attacked, to become defensive, or even to lash out. But take a moment and ask yourself, what does reacting in anger achieve? Does it improve the situation? Does it strengthen your character? Or does it merely give power to someone else over your state of mind? Marcus Aurelius reminds us you have the power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. The only thing you control in that moment is your response. To develop emotional mastery, start by observing your emotions as they arise. Instead of saying, I am angry, say, I am experiencing the feeling of anger. This small act creates a distance between you. I don't know what that is. When you feel emotions rising, breathe deeply and remind yourself that every emotional impulse is temporary. If you give it time, it will pass. Anger does not last forever. Fear dissipates, sadness fades. You do not have to act on them the moment they appear. A powerful exercise used by the Stoics is premeditational forum, the practice of anticipating difficulties before they arise. If you know you will face criticism, stress, or temptation, prepare yourself mentally, decide how you'll respond. When the moment comes, you will be ready, and your emotions will not control you. The true power is not in seeking control over the world, but mastering yourself. Those who can remain calm under pressure, who can think before they act, and who refuse to be slaves to their emotions, possess an inner strength that few achieve. This is what it means to be stoic. It is a skill that takes time to cultivate. But once you master it, it will serve you for life. Lesson 3, live by reason, not impulses. Impulses are enemies of wisdom. They push you to act to chase at the cost of term well-being, and to be controlled by immediate desires rather than rational choices. To master your mind, you must learn to live by reason rather than impulse. Every decision you make should be guided by reflection, logic, and self-discipline, rather than emotional whims or external pressure. Seneca warned against the dangers of acting on impulse, saying, no man is free who is not master of himself. A person who lacks self-control is a slave to their desires, to their distractions, to their weaknesses. How many times have you done something in the heat of the moment only to regret it later? Perhaps you spoke harshly to someone in anger, indulged in excess when you should have shown restraint, or abandoned a difficult task, simply because it felt uncomfortable in the moment. I love you. A pattern of impulse leads to chaos. A pattern of rational decision leads to... Living by reason means slowing down before you act. When faced with a choice, ask yourself what? Will this decision serve me in the long run? By developing this habit, you create space between impulse and action, allowing your wiser self to take control rather than your fleeting emotions. Discipline is the backbone of this practice. You must train yourself to endure short-term discomfort for long-term gain. A person who wakes up early to exercise when they would rather sleep is living by reason. A person who refrains from unnecessary arguments, even when provoked, is living by reason. A person who invests time in learning and growth, rather than mindless entertainment, is living by reason. Each of these decisions strengthens the mind's ability to act deliberately rather than reactively. One of the greatest challenges in mastering reason is resisting the influence of external pressures. Society constantly pushes you to conform, to chase trends, to seek validation, and to make decisions based on what others expect, rather than what is truly best for you. But the Stoic remains independent. They do not act to impress others. They act on principle. They are not swayed by flattery or criticism. They do what is right, regardless of how it appears to the outside world. To develop this mindset, practice detachment when making a decision. Pretend that you are advising a close friend rather than yourself. What would you tell them? This simple shift removes ego from the equation and helps you see clearly. Another practice is delayed gratification. When you feel the urge to act impulsively, wait. Give yourself a moment, an hour, a day if necessary. If the decision is still worth making after time has passed, it's likely a rational one. Mastering reason is not about eliminating emotion, but about ensuring that emotions do not. Your life is about choosing the harder right over the easier wrong, about acting with wisdom rather than instinct, about shaping your life intentionally rather than being shaped by circumstances. This is how you become unshakable. This is how you master your mind. Lesson 4. Cultivate patience and perseverance. Patience is one of the most underrated virtues in today's fast-paced world. We live in a society that demands instant gratification, fast food, same-day shipping, immediate answers, but anything truly valuable, wisdom, skill, strength, takes the time to develop. Stoicism teaches us patience is not just about waiting, it's about maintaining inner peace while you wait. Think about how many times you felt frustrated because things didn't happen as quickly as you wanted. Maybe you started a new project, expecting immediate success, only to be met with obstacles. Maybe you've been working toward a goal, but progress feels painfully slow. Stoics remind us that frustration stems from unrealistic expectations. Instead of expecting instant results, we must accept that everything worthwhile takes time. Marcus Aurelius said, "You must build up your life action by action and be content if no one, and as far as possible, and no one can keep you from this." The key to perseverance is not to focus on how far you have left to go, but to commit fully to each step along the way. Endure hardship without complaints. Life will test you. You will face setbacks, failures, and moments when you feel like giving up. What separates those who succeed from those who don't is resilience. When things get difficult, a Stoic does not complain. They do not ask why. Instead, they ask, what can I learn from this? Every challenge is an opportunity for growth. Seneca wrote, difficulty ties strengthening the mind, labor does the study. And if you avoid struggle, you'll also avoid growth. Each hardship is shaping you into a stronger person. Next time you face an obstacle, don't resist it. Embrace it as training. Slow progress is still progress. One of the biggest reasons people give up is because they don't see immediate progress. But just because you don't see results right away doesn't mean you aren't growing. Imagine an athlete training every day. There may be no visible changes for weeks, but each session builds strength. Success is the accumulation of consistent effort. Over the time, Stoics believe that mastery is a process of continuous improvement. Epic teaches that no great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I will answer that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen. But if you're working towards something, whether it's a skill, a business, or personal growth, trust that your efforts are adding up. Don't measure your success by immediate results. Measure it by your consistency and dedication. I hope I'm getting through. I'm just doing the best I can to give you some information. I know the video is not the greatest, but it is what it is. I try to just deliver content. It's not always the best quality, and I got to learn to turn that camera differently. You know what I'm saying? But it's Antigua. It's a pretty cool spot. I met a person recently that visited 74 countries and 50 states, American states, and said Antigua is the best place. So that's kind of cool. Okay, let's continue. Okay, many people rely on motivation to keep going. Nothing wrong with that. But motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes. Discipline, on the other hand, is what keeps you moving forward, even when you don't feel like it. The Stoics understood that an ideal condition is a trap. If you want to achieve something, you must take action regardless of how you feel. Wake up early and work on your craft, even if you're tired. Keep practicing, even when you're frustrated. Stick to your commitments, even when no one is watching. These small acts of discipline refrain struggles as necessary steps. If you change the way you view difficulties, they lose their power over you. Instead of seeing obstacles as punishments, view them as necessary steps on the path to success. Every great thinker, athlete, and leader has faced difficulty and hardship. What set them apart was their ability to endure. Next time you face a challenge, remind yourself this is part of the process. This is making you stronger. Accepting struggle as a natural and essential part of growth transforms your mindset from frustration to determination. Patience and perseverance are not just qualities, they are choices. You can choose to give up even when you can choose to persist. You can complain about delays or you can embrace the process. A Stoic does not wait for the perfect conditions. They take action, they trust the journey. The question is, will you? Patience is one of the most underrated virtues in today's fast-paced world. We live in a society that demands instant gratification, fast food, same-day shipping, immediate answers, but anything truly valuable, wisdom, skill, strength, takes time to develop. Stoicism teaches that patience is not just about waiting, it's about maintaining inner peace while you wait. The key to perseverance is accepting that growth is slow, but steady. A tree does not reach its full height in a day. A strong mind is built through consistent effort, enduring difficulties and embracing the process, rather than rushing to. When you commit to patience, you feel yourself free yourself from frustration. To face setbacks without giving up, the Stoics of every obstacle is training, an opportunity to refine their resilience. And the more you endure, the stronger you become. Lesson number 5, manage expectations. One of the greatest sources of disappointment in life comes from expecting too much from people and situations. When you expect others to act a certain way, events to unfold as they would, or life as it should be, we set ourselves up for frustration. Stoicism teaches that managing expectations is the key to maintaining emotional balance and inner peace. Marcus Aurelius, in Meditations, advised, when you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, or surly, this wasn't pessimism, it was preparation. When you expect that people will sometimes be difficult, their behavior won't disturb you as much. The power of low expectations. Imagine you hold the door open for someone, expecting a thank you, but they walk past without acknowledgement. You immediately feel irritated. That's normal. Why? Because your expectation of receiving gratitude wasn't there. But what if you had expected nothing? You would have simply carried on unaffected. That the Stoics remind us that we cannot control how others behave, only how we respond. When you lower your expectations of people, you stop being disappointed by their actions. This doesn't mean losing faith in humanity. It means accepting that not everyone will act as you want them to. Accept life as it comes. We often expect life to be smooth, free of obstacles and setbacks, but reality is unpredictable. Plans fail, relationships end, opportunities vanish. If you expect life to always go your way, you'll be constantly disappointed. Instead, embrace uncertainty. Seneca taught, he who expects the worst shall never be disappointed. This doesn't mean you should be negative. It means you should be prepared how to apply this in daily life. That was the question. Expect people to act accordingly, often unreliably. Don't expect them to suddenly be dependable. Detach from specific outcomes. Hope for the best, but be prepared for difficult possibilities. Adopt an attitude of acceptance. When things don't go your way, remind yourself this is the life unfolding as it must. By managing expectations, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. When you no longer demand that life and people conform to your desires, you achieve peace. And peace of mind is the foundation of true power. Lesson 6, live simply. The modern world bombards us with bullshit, more possessions, more achievements. It's ridiculous. But the Stoics believe that true happiness comes not from inquiring more, but needing less. Seneca warned against chasing luxury, writing, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more who is poor." Living simply is not about rejecting material things, but about not being ruled by them. Why simplicity leads to freedom. When you consistently chase material possessions, you are never satisfied. A new car brings excitement for a while, then you want a better one, or pay raise great until you desire even more. This cycle is endless, but when you learn to be content with what you have, you break free. The Stoic approach to simple living: reduce unnecessary desires. Ask yourself, do you really need this, or has it been conditioned? Value experiences over possessions, the joy of deep conversations. Time in nature or self-improvement lasts longer than any material object. Stop feeling validation through wealth or appearance. Your worth is defined by your character, not what you own. How to apply simplicity today. Let go of anxieties about things you cannot control. Add no real value to your life. What is that word? I'm trying to read this. Okay, I'm not perfect. What can I do? The less you depend on external things for happiness, the stronger and more self-sufficient you become. The path to inner peace is not through excess, but through living simply and wisely. Embrace this mindset and you will master your mind. Lesson 7, focus on the present moment. Forget about the past, forget about the future. Dwell on the past, about regrets, worrying about things that haven't happened. The Stoics believe that this is one of the greatest sources of human suffering. Why? Because the past is gone, the future is uncertain. And the only moment we truly have control over is now. Maurice, my favorite poet, says, he said a lot of great things, but think of yourself and how to live in the present. This is not just philosophical advice. It is a call to action. When you focus on the present, you free yourself from unnecessary mental burdens and purpose. Why do we struggle to stay present? The mind craves distraction. It seeks to escape discomfort by fixating on the past or the future. This is why people check their phones obsessively, scroll on. When people are speaking to themselves, the Stoics understood the true peace comes from what is happening right now. How to practice presence. Number 1, observe your thoughts. Whether you can catch yourself dwelling on the past or anxiously anticipating the future, gently bring your focus back to the now. Number 2, engage fully in what you do. Whether you are eating or walking or having a conversation, be fully present. Listen actively. Experience the moment fully. Number 3, breathe deep. Mindful breathing brings you back and calms your mind. Number 4, accept what is. Let go of the detachment and what could be. Focus on what is in front of you and respond with clarity. The Stoics remind us that time is our most valuable asset. Wasting it on worrying beyond our control or regrets that serve no purpose robs us of the life we could be living right now. By training yourself to stay present, you will find that your mind becomes and your decisions wiser and your days more fulfilling. Lesson 8, turn obstacles into opportunities. Life is unpredictable on how much we prepare. We will encounter difficulties, setbacks, failures, disappointments. The average person sees these as barriers to success. The Stoic, however, sees them as stepping stones. Instead of resisting obstacles, the Stoic embraces them, knowing that within every hardship lies an opportunity for growth. Marcus Aurelius captured this perfectly when he wrote, "The impediment of action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." In other words, what blocks your path is not a dead end. It is the very thing that will make you stronger, wiser, and more capable. How to reframe challenges when faced with adversity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Instead of seeing failure as a loss, view it as a lesson. How can I turn this into my advantage? Many of the world's greatest successes were born out of setbacks. Another question, what is within my control? Even in the toughest situations, there is always something you can control. Your response, your attitude, your next move. Examples of turning obstacles into strength. Losing a job. Use this as an opportunity to learn a new skill, start a business, or pursue a career that aligns more with your values. Relationship ended. Rather than dwelling on pain, focus on self-improvement and growth. Health challenges. Many people have turned illnesses or injury into a deeper appreciation for life and a stronger sense of purpose. The Stoic mindset toward adversity, Seneca said, difficulty ties strengthening the mind as labor does the body. Hardship is not something to avoid. Every difficulty you face is an opportunity to develop patience, resilience, and wisdom. When you stop resisting obstacles and start using them as opportunities, you gain a sense of control over your destiny. Pause. The path to mastery is not smooth. It is filled with hurdles. But each one is an invitation to become stronger. The only question is, will you take it? How am I doing? You guys enjoying it? You had enough for today? A couple more minutes? Let me see here. We're at 27 minutes. Yeah, just a couple more minutes. A little bit more advice. How does that sound? Sound right? Or we call it a day. What do you think we call it a day? I think we're going to call it a day. Nope, maybe not. 3 more minutes? Well, maybe you're enjoying it. That would be nice. That would be fantastic. If you like my videos, please share them with your friends. Why not? Here we go. Lesson 9, accept suffering as a part of life. Suffering is inevitable. No one can avoid it. Loss, disappointment. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid pain, resisting discomfort, or hoping for an easy path. The Stoics, however, embraced suffering as a necessary part of life and a vital tool for personal growth. To master your mind, you must first accept that adversity is not an enemy. It is a teacher. Every painful experience you encounter is a lesson in disguise, an opportunity to grow stronger and develop yourself. Life does not grant immunity from hardship, but it does offer the power to respond to it with wisdom and discipline. Seneca wisely stated, difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. Just as a body grows stronger through resistance, the mind becomes more resistant with time. Enduring suffering, pain, setbacks, failures are not to be feared, but embraced as sculptures that shape a statue. Every challenge you face, sharpening your ability to remain steadfast in the midst of chaos. The moment you cease to see suffering as a burden and begin to view it as a necessary part of growth, you gain freedom to stop fearing pain. You understand that these things are not the end of you. They are the beginning of a stronger, wiser version of yourself. Complaining and suffering achieve nothing. The Stoics remind us that the resistance to hardship only amplifies the pain, allows us to move forward with clarity and strength. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? How can I use this to grow? This shift is perspective, your relationship with suffering forever. The great Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to prepare themselves for real adversity. fasting, exposing themselves to the cold, and embracing discomfort so that when genuine hardships arose, they remained unshaken. When you stop viewing suffering as an obstacle and start seeing it as training, nothing can break you. Instead, you